Hello everyone, welcome to a huge edition of VAFA Tragics. Great to have your company for another week. We're well into the thick of finals now as I welcome Nick Armistead to the desk. How are you, Nick?
I'm very well, Lenny. Two big William Buck Premier finals on over the weekend and I'm looking forward to diving into it.
Right across the whole competition.
Absolutely. I was at the Premier finals though, so...
we'll talk about the number of dim sims at Elsternwick Park shortly. Close to, nudging 2,000, which is unbelievable. I understand they're maybe considering a premium offer for grand final, just raising the price a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think they're finding that the profit margin is as much as they'd like, given the amount of dim sims that we are selling, and that people are probably filling up on them and not getting as many sausage rolls and salad rolls.
Given the value they provided over the first couple of weekends, I'm okay for a small price rise.
I don't know. We've been promulgating this whole thing all season. Started at the end of last year. I don't know if we can be encouraging.
I'm okay with the price rise as long as they get some barbecue burger action going. Get the Wick burger back.
Hot chance.
I mean, lacking Wick burgers on the weekend was disappointing.
Yeah, the hot chance that'll be back this weekend.
What was the highlight from the weekend from you?
Mine was at the Fitzroy Williamstown CYMS semi-final. Obviously, great stuff by Fitzroy. They straight back up to Premier B. In the final 3 minutes of that game, they trailed by a couple of goals, and Tom Cheshire, which you can see right here, he snaps his absolutely outstanding goal at Bill Laurie Oval, and the whole crowd's behind the goal, so it looks fantastic. And then Nathan Jamo, he goes all clutch in the final minute of the game and snaps one as well to win that for Fitzroy.
Great result for the Roys. Will he get another chance to make it to Premier B for the first time next week in the prelim final? We'll take a look at that later on. The news tonight is our special guest is Brendan Yetzi, the Old Trinity superstar, will be joining us at the desk, so stick around for that. My highlight, though, came on Saturday at Elsternwick Park. Anthony Lynch, what's he played? 256 games, maybe?
Yeah, it'd be a closer bit to
something around that.
Yeah.
This might just have been his best. He was unbelievable. He was superb in the ruck, and considering the injuries that St Kevin's faced over the course of the day, we talked about, all the talk this year has been the resurgence of the ruckman in the AFL with Gawn and Grundy just putting it on a platter for their midfielders. Plugger did it all day on Saturday. He was unbelievable.
And we know he's a leader, and I did hear his three-quarter time speech, and he dished out an absolute ripper as well. So that just adds to his
almost got them there. Let's go straight into William Buck Premier. Collegians move into a grand final after they managed to hold off a late St Kevin's charge to hold on and get back to the big dance a year after they were runners-up.
Yeah, they led by 23 points at three-quarter time, Collegians, and Lockie Ferguson did kick the first goal of the fourth term before Scobb really turned it on, and maybe they answered that call from Anthony Lynch at three-quarter time, and they kicked 4 goals in a row to Cal Matheson, Parks, Corboy and Kanakis before Huey Johnson socketed this absolute beauty from about 15 metres out just to seal it by 7 points with about 3 minutes remaining. There are a few concerns, obviously, for St Kevin's.
Story of the day was the injuries, and we said it in the call, to lose Mitch Brown at the 10-minute mark of the first quarter, closely followed by, I think it was Critchley, who went down with an ankle injury only at the 18-minute mark of the first quarter, so they're already down to 2 on the bench, both out for the game. They then lost Gillum 5 minutes into the second quarter. His season's over as well. I mean, huge question marks on whether Critchley and Brown get back. And then to top it off, they had James Strauss, who got taken out of the game with where it got hit in the most unfortunate of places. He did return to the action in the fourth quarter, but he was out for a good 20 minutes of the game as well. Their ability to come back and their fights in Kevin's just has to be heralded. It was unbelievable performance from them. Old Brighton finished their season as Old Trinity got past them in the first semi-final. We'll speak to Brendan Yetzi about that after the next break. But let's go into Premier B. St Bernard's advanced to the grand final and won their way back to William Buck Premier section with a win over Old Carey. The Panthers started strongly, but they didn't really fire a shot after quarter time.
No, it was St Bernard's who, in the second term, they kicked 5 unanswered goals, and that's basically where the game was won and lost. It was a 31-point win. Andrew Sloan had a day out, though, really, for Old Carey. He was their best player. He kept Chad Jones, who's just ticked over 100 last week. He kept him goalless. So fantastic effort from Sloan, but obviously St Bernard's, we've been saying all year, their top-end talent's as good as any side. So a great win by them, and congratulations to them back to William Buck Premier.
Absolutely. Carey got a shot at it in the prelim final. They'll play Uni Blacks. They put up a solid game. It was really an amazing game at Trevor Barker Oval against Caulfield Grammarian.
Well, how good were the Blacks?
How good were Caulfield?
Yeah,
the Fields. My team that I rode home all the way to the finals, they almost pinched it.
They did. Oh, well, they're up by 17 points at half-time, 15 points at three-quarter time. Cam Roberts remained very, very calm, I'm told, at three-quarter time, and just got his boys over the line. Lockie Dornoff and Johnny Vrodos kicked 2 goals each in that last quarter. So once again, obviously he's a tragic, but once again, when the chips are down, Lockie Dornoff stands up.
Of course. So Blacks Carey is a huge game next Saturday at Trevor Barker, at Elsternwick Park.
Elsternwick Park on Saturday.
On the Saturday for that preliminary final. Into Premier C, you mentioned off the top of the show, Fitzroy returning to Premier B after winning their second semi-final against Willie. Unbelievable game.
Oh, it was a fantastic game. It was tight. It was a tight tussle throughout the entire day. And as I said earlier, it was obviously those 2 goals right at the end, in the last 3 minutes, that got Fitzroy over the line. Luke Marnie's come on board as their coach. His first year, he's taken them straight back up to Premier B.
Yeah, they released something he signed for another couple of years.
Another 2 years, he signed a couple of weeks ago. So he's loving it down there. He's got them playing a fantastic brand of football. But Williamstown, they'll be a bit nervous heading into this weekend because it was only 2 weeks ago that they lost to Old Geelong.
Old Geelong and Old Camberwell played out another thriller the following day on the Sunday. 7 points, Og getting past Camberwell.
Yeah, Ogs trailed at every break throughout the day. It was only 3 points at three-quarter time and kicked a couple in the last quarter to edge past the Wellers. But they're in pretty good form. They've won 4 in a row now, the Ogs. So they'll be going with a little bit of confidence after, as I said, they beat Willie a couple of weeks ago.
Huge show still to come. We're going to talk to Brendan Yetzi at the desk right after this. Welcome back to The Tragics. Great to have the desk from the Old Trinity Football Club, Brendan Yetzi. Former captain, former coach. Can we call you that yet?
Former captain. I think that's it, yep.
Former Woodrow medalist, former Moore medalist. You've got all those to hang around your neck as well. How many best and fairest have you won at Old Trinity?
5.
5, yeah.
Yep.
So, pretty reasonable career.
Yep, yeah, it's been good. I've loved every single minute of it. I mean, you know, from the day I walked through that club, I mean, it just hooked me. So, you know, the club's changed a lot. We were, you know, always battling, you know, that A grade, B grade. I reckon we were celebrating so hard when we staying up, and you know, especially in the last sort of 6 to 8 years, yeah, the club's gone through a massive transformation, and yeah, now battling off for finals and premierships.
So you announced a couple of weeks ago that you're retiring. We'll get onto that in a second. Just take us into playing a game on the weekend where it possibly could be the last time you run out on a footy ground.
Yeah.
And you're going to get another chance doing that this week.
Yeah. I guess it's. I mean, I've probably sort of known for a while, but I mean, you sort of just, you know, each training session, you know, you just get so. You're just out there and you're kicking the footy, and then you go inside, and then you walk out and you're like, oh, that could be my last training session as well. And then on game day, I was a little bit nervous going into it, but you know, as the game goes on, you've got way too many things to worry about. So just take it as it comes.
How did you find the game on the weekend? Obviously a sensational performance by you boys, overrunning Brighton by 40 points.
Yeah, it was a really hard-fought game. You know, I was just mentioning before, we haven't been a team that's got off to really good starts sort of in the last sort of even 3 years. So nice to get a bit of a buffer on them early and kick goals, important goals when we really needed them. It was a really tough game, scrappy sort of second quarter. Bit of rain came down, and yeah, we were able to. I mean, they had a few shots on goal, could have really put us under the pump, but luckily enough, we probably got a couple at the right stages of the game, and yeah, it sort of came to fourth quarter. I think we kicked the first maybe 1 or 2, and it's sort of all over from there. So it was, yeah, look, it was a really, really tough game, and they're going to be a great young side coming through. So yeah, no, they'll be fine for the future.
So how do you pull up after games at the moment? And I guess why are you hanging them up at the moment?
Yeah, I pull up terribly. Shocking. But you know, half of it's my fault. I've never done rehab. Yeah, I haven't really looked after my body too well. But look, I mean, it's just a perfect time for me to sort of pull the pin. You know, I've had you know, 12 great years at the club, and you know, obviously recently married, and you know, self-employed plumber. It's a lot of risk to take. You know, the club's in a really good spot with Harry and Luke, and you know, at each stage in everyone's career, you have to pull the pin at some point. So you know, I'm really content with the decision, and you know, even telling the boys I wasn't. You know, everyone knows I'm a pretty emotional guy. But yeah, not too emotional on the time, and yeah, pretty content with the decision. So yeah, looking forward to hitting the golf course.
So we've seen a step up in the social media output from Old Trinity and lots of clubs. Was anyone filming your big announcement or anything like that?
No, it went pretty under the radar. Yeah, I sort of only told Harry and Luke, the captains, and then told Bernie, and yeah, and then rolled in. It was a really good time because we were coming into round 18, collegians, you know, obviously not a whole heap to play for, but getting it out of the way before the finals came on. So it's just the Thursday before training, and Yeah, I guess it was probably a surprise, but not. I mean, it was a surprise I guess, for people to hear it. But I mean, a lot of people have known it was always going to come, and I'm slowing down very quickly. So no, it was pretty low key.
So you've obviously had a sensational career. We mentioned it earlier, a couple of Woodrows, a couple of more medals, quite a few Big V games. Are there any favourite moments there for you and some of the better players you've played with and against?
Yeah, I mean, the Big V stuff's awesome. I mean, I've loved it from, under 19s, all the way through all the seniors. I mean, you meet such good people along the way. I mean, being able to go to Ireland with a few of the boys like Dowdy and McGettigan, and Jack Watts and Andrew McGuinness, yes. So, just us 5 going over there and mingling with a few of the other ammo clubs or from the other states was awesome. Look, I mean, I've loved just the social side of footy. I mean, I loved when we lost to Brighton in 2008 by 100 points round 18, but stayed up in A grade, by percentage. Then we celebrated like we won the premiership. It's all that sort of stuff that's just, it keeps you at a club and makes you love it. I mean, obviously, your individual awards are great, but I mean, I keep playing because, I want that ultimate success. I want that premiership.
How much does that burn? Obviously, the 2015 and 16 A grade losses.
Yeah.
And before that,
I was going to say, I mean, like,
whether
it's A grade, B grade, D1, D4. I mean, I've never won a premiership, full stop. So not even juniors or anything. So I mean, obviously, you want to make it at the highest level you can. So look, both the B grades and both the A grades have heard it just as much as each other. Just purely, not even on the medal, just like the the reunions. Being able to stay in touch with people as much as you will stay in touch with people. That you'll have a select group, and some of them are my best mates. But that younger brigade that's not easy to stay in touch, and once you leave a club, can stop pretty quickly. So that's probably the number one thing that I'm rolling.
So there's hope, I reckon. So I'm putting together a crack thirds team next year. I'm going to try and recruit players that are looking for that ultimate success. Yeah. If we get a good side together, would you be interested?
You'd have to fight Bernie for that. He'd probably kill you, to be honest. I think he wants me going around the thirds with him next year. So I'm really content. I'm looking forward to just being able to have my Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday days. For just whatever, work, golf, family, that sort of thing.
You're a handy golfer?
I like to think I am. I just love it. It's a sport, like footy, you can go there and you're down very, very quickly as age catches up to you. But golf, you're just constantly, battling against yourself and against the course. And it's like 5-6 hours with 3 other mates. It doesn't get any better. So
now I just want to show everyone a bit of footage that we ran a couple of years ago. You do have one of the more difficult surnames to pronounce if you've never heard it before. I remember when I came to the VAFA and I thought it was Iezi or something like that. So here's a couple of the boys that we interviewed a few years ago and how they had a crack at saying Yetzi.
Brendan Yezi. Is it Leslie? I've heard that Leslie bloke before. I don't know. I heard he's one of you. I heard someone say Yezi, but I'm not 100% sure on that one, sorry. Josh Yetzi.
All right, so we've just heard Leslie, Yezi. You got called Josh Yetzi at one time. So what are they some of the stranger ones that you've heard?
I mean, it's been ever since I sort of hit primary school. I mean, all the teachers are always struggling with it. Look, it's a tricky one, just the spelling and it's just bizarre. But people are getting better at it.
Are you going to beat Scobs?
Look, I mean, we always thought once we made it, we'd always give it a really good shake. We're really confident in the players we have in the game style. Look, we'll give it a really good shake. They're a really solid outfit. They, obviously,
I saw a few of you there on Saturday. Did you all of you?
No, I think just a few. I think Bernie and I think Harry and Jake Jake Walsh snuck down there. Yep. So I think they were only going to watch a half, but it was a pretty tight game, so they all ended up staying. But look, they're a really strong outfit, and you talked about their injuries. I mean, they've got some. They've always had really, really good depth, some senior players playing twos footy as well. So no doubt they can call upon them, and they'll be as strong as ever. I think Tom Jock will be back as well.
Yeah, he will. Yeah.
So look, really, really excited to you want to play the best teams you can and prove that you're as good as them, if not better. So really excited.
In saying that, do you want to see Sam Critchley out there? Do you want to see Mitch Brown out there on Sunday when you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in a position like them to go through a certain amount of the year and then hit finals, and just watching the boys not being able to participate is really, really hard. So I mean, you do want to play against the best, and you really do feel for them when the amount of work these guys put in to get there. And you don't play footy for anything else pretty much, apart from socially. But like for finals, I mean, and it's no good watching these good players go down, especially. So look, we'll see who comes out. Either way, it's going to be a really really tough game, but really excited.
Let's hope you've got a couple more games left in you. But before you finish up,
Yep.
who are some of the best players you've played against?
Yeah, it's a really tough one because I played through. When I started way back, there was some really good old players. Even the old Ivanhoes, Curatolo and Thompson, Brad Thompson. There were some really strong players, and then Josh Aegis. I've always rated the way he could just run sprint contest to contest, and then more recently Tyson Cruz and Cam Howe. Their power running and being able to gain meters. They were awesome to play against, and then like playing with Tom Paul in the VAFA games, he's been super to play with, and just Plugger, everyone wants to play with Plugger, so it was a great experience being able to play some games with those guys. But even like playing with, I've been able to play with some great players. I mean, obviously Rambo, everyone knows Rambo, but you able to play with him and people like Coltrera, who was one of the the great forwards. Probably forget how good these players were, but there's been so many good players that I've played against, and I've loved trying to match up against them and watching them play.
You played in the Big V games. Which was your best Big V game or most
Yeah,
enjoyable?
I don't know. I've been a part of some really, really good ones that have come down to the absolute wire. My first one was actually the Bushfire Appeal game in 2009, I think, and that was a superstar team.
Matty Robbins, I think.
Yeah, Matty Robbins kicked a goal, I think, to win it. But I think Matt Ball, that was his first year down, and Matt Ball was awesome. I don't think he'd played a game of Ammos before, but he came in and he met everyone, knew everyone's name. He was super. But the players that we played with was just and against the EFL team that was a super game. It was really, really hot. I was in the long sleeves that day. It was bizarre. But and then the other one against the Eastern Footy League. In the Metro comps recently, and then
Optus Oval.
Yeah, and then the Northern one the year after. They were awesome. I mean, but even the Beta D4 game I played, a few years back. That any chance you get to play Big V, the under 19s games, the under 23 games, they're all awesome. You meet such good people. So yeah, I loved every minute of it.
It's fair to say when you do eventually have some children, you won't have a favourite child because they'll all you'll be
That's
loving them all.
Yeah, you love them all.
Good luck on the weekend
Thanks,
against St Kevin's, and it's been fantastic watching you play over the last few years. So we hope you have a win and all the best.
Fingers crossed. Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Jets.
Brendan Yetzi joining us. We'll be back to talk division finals and do all the rounds of social and best and worst case scenarios after this.
Anytime is the right time to get fit at Anytime Fitness. Access over 400 gyms across the country 24/7 and discover why more Australians train at Anytime Fitness than any other gym. Go online and register now for your free 7-day pass and feel something better.
Welcome back to the Tragics. Time to take a look at the Division Grand Finals coming up this week. In Division 1, it's going to be Hampton Rovers against Ormond after the Rovers won through against a valiant Oakley on the weekend, Nick.
Yeah, it was great stuff from Oakley just to be there on the weekend. They had a great end to the year, obviously. A couple of wins in round 18 in the first semi. Great win by Hampton. They now take on Ormond. They'll reignite that local rivalry at Trevor Barker Oval.
They've played in about
Saturday.
3 or 4 grand finals in the last decade.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable, those two sides. UHSV, quick tip in that one, Division 1.
Ormond for me.
I might go for the Rovers. UHSVU will take on Old Paradians after Old Paradians beat off Whitefriars, and Whitefriars were right in the thick of it up at three-quarter time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was just a fantastic end to the game for Old Paradians, who probably haven't been in the greatest form over the past month, but they finished off really well, so they're entering the grand final in form. My tip for that, I'll still stick with UHSVU.
Yeah, I'm going for UHSVU as well. Glen Eira versus Hawthorn in the Division 3 grand final after Hawthorn beat Westbourne Grammarians. Westbourne put up a good show too.
Yeah, absolutely they did. I mean, Hawthorn blew it out in the end, but Hawthorn have that scoring power. They can put it on him within a half a quarter. 26 points. Now the two big gun sides, the two dominant sides.
Can Hawthorn pinch a
can.
senior flag?
They can. I really feel like they can. It's been 20 years. But I really feel like they can.
I hope they do. It's sort of, it's been up there, and David Littleletter will be looking down on them. And
absolutely.
Yeah, let's hope it's a good result for the Hawks on Sunday. North Brunswick and Parkside. Parkside winning through to a grand final. Great to see in the VAFA. They've come back into the comp. They're playing off it for a premiership against North Brunswick. Now,
they've only lost 3 games since round 6, and they've all been to North Brunswick. But they do enter this on the back of more than a 10-goal win, 65 points against St Francis, although I think North Brunswick, as we mentioned last week, they're now out of Division 4 for the first time in 18 years, and I think they'll go out with a flag.
Yeah, I'm going for the Bulls in that one as well. Right, best use of social media time, one of our favourite segments on the show. Nick, I see you've got on the rundown some more of the same.
Absolutely, I do. You know I love my Silly Sunday, Mad Monday, or as it is now, Silly Saturday outfits. I'm going down to the Scob Saints girls. Now, I love a theme. They've gone the Aussie theme. So, as you can see on your screens, we've got Kath and Kim. We've got the Bananas in Pyjamas. That's the two Strafford girls there. We've got 4 honey badgers. So, I don't know if they discussed that before going to their Silly Sunday. Corey, Worthington, and, of course, the Wiggles.
Yeah,
who doesn't like a bit of the Wiggles? But my best case of social for the week is I'm going back to Hawthorn Avenue Football Club.
Do they get a lot of prizes from you?
They do. But this is absolutely outstanding. They've got the suburban footballer who you may have seen on Channel 9's The Footy Show. He's impersonating Cade, their coach. So this is exactly what he had to say before their big game against Westbourne.
G'day, Coach Cade here. How you going, guys? As usual, I've got no game plan and no idea how to coach. We've got a big game against Westbourne today. As usual, I'm just crossing my fingers. Hope you boys play well, because I certainly won't be leading the way. So, go the Hawthorn Ammos. Go get them, boys.
So I just absolutely love that sort of stuff. And obviously we had to censor out some of the swear words in that, but fantastic stuff from Hawthorn.
Yeah, I'm going to St Bernard's and Uni Blacks. Both clubs putting up their full team songs through their social channels to celebrate huge wins. I want to see more of it. Teams should be putting their songs through. It's great that we're learning these club songs when you haven't been associated with them directly. Quick question straight into it. Nick, you kick us off.
How strong is the Yetzi factor, and should St Kevin's All Boys be worried?
I'm pretty sure I said no to this when we were going through a bit of rehearsal. They potentially should be worried. I don't think Yetzi factor has anything to do with it. I just think Old Trinity have got a good system. I think it's more about if Old Trinity get a good start like they did on the weekend, it could be game on, because they finish well at the tees. Who will win the Grilled Rising Star Award this year, Nick?
Well, I've narrowed it down to 2. Obviously, the 6 have come out over the last couple of days. Geordie Nagel from De La Salle, who is actually still at school, which is just an unbelievable effort in itself. And I've got Anthony Zimmerman. He's a favourite here because he's a highlights reel. Fantastic player. They're both big V players, so I think it'll be one of those two. I'm going to go
Zimmer.
Going to go Zimmer? Yeah, I think he deserves it, to be perfectly honest. Andrew, should the tribunal be televised?
Yeah, well, there's obviously a big case this week, of course, with Taylor Hunt from Collegians. They're contesting. They've obviously got till the following week to see if they can get him off, but I would love to have a camera in there, and I know it will never get up, but I reckon if you could live stream it through the Facebook page, imagine how many people will be watching it, particularly around finals time.
Enormous.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic stuff. Which division grand final are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to Glen Ira and Hawthorn. They played 2 years ago. Glen Ira obviously ran away. I think that they're more evenly matched now, and I think, as I said earlier, the Hawks can get up.
Best case, worst case scenarios. Let's kick off the best case.
Well, judging from their second semi-final on the weekend, my best case is that Williamstown CYs win on the weekend so they can reignite their rivalry with Fitzroy. 1,500 people went through the gate at Bill Laurie Oval on the weekend, and I want to see more of that next week.
Exactly right. Great 2 teams, Willie and Fitzroy. Want them both in Premier B next year, unfortunately for Old Geelong. My best case is Old Trinity win 2 more games and Brendan Yetzi goes out a premiership player. Now, it's a massive ask, and I'll probably say it if they manage to beat Scobs. I'll say it next Monday as well. Hopefully they can go 1 more again. But be a fantastic result. Worst case scenario for you?
Sam Critchley and Mitch Brown don't get up for St Kevin's. I think we all know that Gillam won't. But worst case is that they don't, because you want to see the best versus the
Absolutely.
best.
And Brendan said that as well before as well. My worst case is both for Willie and Old Carey to go out in straight sets, and for that matter, Scobs as well. It's, you don't want to see sides that have earned the double chance going out in straight sets. Although I do love the underdogs coming through in those games.
Yeah.
It's been a great show.
It has been.
Enjoy the footy this weekend. For preliminary finals, enjoy the Jim Sims at Elsternwick Park if you're heading down as well. We'll see you again next week on The Tragics.